Toya. I like Minister Toya. Most ministers like their last name. I like my first name, free. So I am Minister Toya, and I'm gonna share a word with you. We're coming out of Hebrews this afternoon.
Amen.
Hebrews 10:36, I believe. So, and I'm gonna read to you. If you got the Bible, you can read.
One day.
All right. Yes. We're gonna start at verse 36, ending at verse 38. All right. And it reads, For ye have need of patience, that after ye have done all the will of God, ye might receive the promise. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and shall not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith.
Amen.
But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. That is found in Hebrews 10:36-38. And I'm coming from you from the subject matter today, and I'm going to be taken from Hebrews 38, and the just shall live by faith.
Yes.
Amen.
I want to be to the throne of grace, and pray, Father God, I ask, Lord, right now, that you would speak to me, use me as an instrument in the vessel. Father God, put the words in me that need to be spoken. Father God, remove my flesh, Lord, that you may only be seen. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so I want to give you a little background about the scripture, about Hebrews. Hebrews was written, Paul wrote this letter to the Hebrews because in this day, there was a lot of persecution going on. These were new converts, and they had just given their lives to Christ. It was new, new thing on the scene, right? So, and they had just given their life over to Christ, and they were being persecuted. They were being murdered. The children were being murdered. Daughters being raped. Houses being taken, and so they were afraid, and they were losing faith. But Paul wanted them to know that now is not the time to give up and run. Now is not the time to tuck your tail between your legs and run back home. Now you have to stand on the word, the promise that Jesus made unto you, and believe that his word is true, and he shall come. But if you give up right now, if you draw back your soul right now, your faith right now, then God's word is not going to prevail unto you, right? So he wanted them to know that they didn't have anything to worry about. Okay, yeah, some things might happen to you. You might lose your this body might be perishable, but you're going to have life in glory, right? So he wanted them to know, just have some faith, just stick with it. Don't quit it, and they were bound to get it, right? He wanted them to know that no matter what, God's word is true. It is the other truth, right? Yes. So he wrote this letter. Matter of fact, he spent 10 chapters, 10. He really wanted them to know, right? He spent 10 chapters telling them how powerful and about the sovereignty of God and how powerful he was, right? So that they would not fall back, they would not lack in anything. Matter of fact, after the 10th chapter, he went on in the 11th chapter to let them know how all of the people like Abraham and Moses and how them keeping their faith and having their faith, how they were blessed through that, right? And that they would be blessed even in that. Some of us don't want to say that we're Christians and no one is killing us, right? Some of us act like we don't know Jesus and we're not being threatened. Right? But he wanted them to know. He just wanted them to know that they didn't have to lose faith. They didn't have to lose hope. Every time I get ready to do a message, to give a message, something happens in my life. Something extreme. My nephew was murdered Friday. 5-month-old baby. Right? Beaten to death by the babies. Okay? So now I'm in the hospital yesterday. I'm in the hospital and I'm with my niece, and I see my niece poured over to her baby and crying her little heart out. And I'm like, well, okay, what do I say to her? Do I tell her now is not the time to tuck her tail and run? Do I tell her that all things work together for good when all she can see is her dead baby laying on this table? Do I tell her that even though we don't understand what God is doing in this moment, that He is doing it for our benefit, and we got to trust Him no matter what? Yes. I have to tell her. Yeah, feel it? I can feel it. But but my emotions don't matter. It's not about what I feel, it's about what I know. And I know my God is a do it again and again and again, God. I know my God has never left me or forsaken me, and there's never anything that goes on in our lives is by mistake, right? I know that He is going to work it all out. His word is true. If He said it, it's got to come to pass. If He said He's going to work it out for our good, then no matter how it looks, He's going to work it out for our good.
Yes.
That's why He says, now the just shall live by faith. Not tomorrow. I love that word now. Anybody that knows me knows that that's my favorite word. Right? Now constitutes a time. It says right in this moment. Not tomorrow, not later on, not yesterday, but right in this moment. And when the worst possible thing you can imagine can happen to you, you got to live by faith.
Yes.
Right? When the worst thing, when you up against the scariest thing you ever seen in your life, tell you now you got to live by faith. And I'm telling you that no matter what's going on, He's not surprised by the things that go on in our life. Right? When the doctor told you that you had cancer, He wasn't surprised. He said, now I need you to live by faith. Now I need you to put on that whole armor of God. Now I need you to trust the word that you've been telling other people, that you've been walking around and reading and all your life. Now I need you to live by faith. When the marriage ended, He had to say, now I need you to live by faith. When your spouse died, He needed you to say, now I need you to live by faith.
Yes.
I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how it looks. He's saying now the just. I always thought, growing up, hearing that word, I never heard the now part. I always had heard, and the just shall live by faith. Which it sound like a nice, and the just.
Yeah.
Okay, and we will. You know. But I never paid attention that it didn't say and. It is, and it's a conjunction, you know. It's pulling some things together. Now makes it a statement. It makes it a command. It makes it a order. Now the just shall live by faith.
Yes.
You know, sometimes, you know, it's hard to believe what God said is gonna happen. Right? We can't see God. He's not visible. You know, he don't speak into us with an audible voice and say, come on, I'm going to do what I say do. He doesn't do that. Right? So, and we didn't get to walk with Jesus. You know, we came 2,000 some odd years later, so we didn't get to do any of that. We have to believe that the God that we serve is so powerful and so sovereign that the things that He said 2,000 years ago still apply today. He is the same God yesterday, today, and forevermore. He is not going to change. He loves you as much as He did before you were formed in your mother's womb. This is why He says, faith, it takes faith to please Him. Faith pleases God. You want something done, you got to first believe that He can do it, that it will happen. I don't care how it looks, y'all. I don't care. Right? I don't care. Yesterday I thought the worst thing that ever happened to a member of my family or to us had happened. I know that even though that happened, even though I held that dead baby in my arms, right? And I kissed it and I sang to it, and I even though I know that happened, I know that now is not the time to run away. Now is not the time to give up hope. Now is not the time to say throw in the towel, because the word says now the just shall live by faith. And I'm telling you that now is not the time. Right. I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what brought you here. Yeah. I don't know how your family situation is. But I'm telling you, God is not giving up on you.
That's right.
God still loves you. And He said that no matter how it looks, now the just have to live by faith. Those same people that I gave my life on Calvary, that I justified with my blood, you know, now they got to live by faith. I don't know what the doctor told you, but what I'm telling you is now you got to live by faith, right? I don't care. You know, We got to put our own feelings aside and just blindly believe. You got to blindly, like, this takes some blind belief, right? You got to just say, okay, no matter what, here I am, Lord. Here I am. Can you do that? Who can do that? Who can just believe that God, that no matter what, He is with you and He loves you.
Yeah.
I always look forward to coming and giving the word at the nursing home because I love seeing you guys. I miss Martha. Where's Martha? Marsha. Where's Marsha?
I'm not sure.
Miss Marsha. I love her.
Several times she's been kind of sick.
She been kind of sick. I love coming here and seeing you guys. And I love giving a word of hope. And most of the times when I come, it's like I'm giving a word of hope to myself. Because it's like something always happens right before I come here. I didn't expect that to happen, but I know that God has a plan. Even in the death of that baby, I know there's a plan.
Yes.
I know that he still sits high and looks low. He's on the throne. And even in your situation, I'm telling you, He has a plan.
Yes.
Until the last breath is in our body, He has a plan.
He has a plan.
It is no.
Amen.
He is not saying give up until, I guess, until the fat lady said, so to speak, right? Until the last breath in our body. So I'm saying, I need you to have some now faith. Now faith. Now faith. Now faith is the substance of hope. The substance of things hoped for and evidence of things. Not saying that's Hebrews 11:1. Right? So I just want to let you know, I came back for a short time to let you know that the just shall live by faith. Be
Amen.
blessed.
Amen.
Don't give up. Don't give in.